Joining us now is Kachi Ophia with stories trending around the world. Kachi, it's good to have you back today. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Dr. Abati. Good morning. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Kundun. Good morning, viewers, and you're welcome to What's Trending. Now let's begin with sad story. A young lady who goes by the name Monsura, she's 18 actually. Now, she has been shot dead in her home in IJESHA-TEDO, Surulere, and her family members are crying for justice. Now, her sister went on Facebook to share photos of her after she was shot, very bloody pictures and graphic images, I must say. And she was basically just asking people online to help her get justice. Well, this voice was heard. The police officers, apparently, who were involved in this, were investigating activities to arrest a robbery suspect within the area. Now, the 18-year-old was within the area with her sister where the police were patrolling, and then they ran into their compound. Now, they chased and shot Monsura, and, of course, her sister was able to escape that incident. As for responses so far, the Lagos monitoring team, they've stated that the police officer involved has been arrested and he has been detained as well. This is incredibly sad. She was just 18 years old. This should not be happening at all. Of course, we're looking forward to this officer being, tried to the full extent of the law. This should not be happening. It's just a waste, to be honest.
Kachi, this is an unspeakable tragedy, and he's actually lucky that he did not get the treatment that he gave her. He wasn't summarily executed like what he did to her. He's going to stand trial and be able to defend himself if there's any kind of defense. But I personally hope he gets the maximum. I want the book thrown at him for this kind of disgusting behavior. And we remember, of course, we can never forget the NSAS protests. All of that cannot be in vain. All of that death, all the destruction, everything that was accomplished during that period cannot be in vain. This has to stop. An example must be made of this police officer. It's so disgusting, this kind of animalistic, trigger-happy behavior. Was he drunk? I mean, I'm wondering, what would make you just open fire?
Okay, well said. Clearly a case of police brutality. And the question to ask is, what is it? What is that thing in the heads of some policemen in Nigeria that gives them the impression that they can dispense, justice by executing people? The job of the policeman, yes, giving chase to a criminal, is to apprehend the suspect and to take that suspect through due process. But we've had too many cases in this country of very brutish, brutal, wicked, policemen who just open fire at the slightest provocation. In this case, they were giving chase to criminals, and then suspected criminals, they allegedly ran into a place, and then the next thing for the policeman to do is to just open fire. And it is this kind of conduct that led to the hashtag NSAS protest and the bad image of the police in the reckoning of the average Nigerian. The average Nigerian does not consider the policeman his friend, precisely because of this kind of behavior. And that's why, it's good that the man has been apprehended, the trigger-happy policeman, and he should be made to face trial because there are procedures, even within the police, for dealing with people like this. And this kind of thing discourages Nigerians. It adds to their despair. Now, the second issue is about training. We have a police college in Jos. We have police colleges elsewhere. I think that the Inspector General of Police and the Police Service Commission will have to take a second look at the kind of training that our policemen receive. The third point has to be about psychiatric examination, which is one of the major demands during the hashtag NSAS protest. The protesters asked that this Nigerian policemen should be subjected to psychiatric counseling and examination on a regular basis. Because part of the concern of that protest, of the protesters, was that, look, it looks like a screw has loosened in the heads of, many policemen in Nigeria. The other issue that we need to express concern about is that after Monsura Ojuade, that's her full name, was shot, she was taken to a hospital where she was treated, and then she was referred to the orthopedic hospital in Yaba. Now, when they got to the orthopedic hospital, the nurses and the doctors, they had told them that, well, there was no doctor on duty because resident doctors were on strike. Okay, the question to ask is, if this matter of resident doctors going on strike had been addressed, perhaps there would have been somebody to attend to her. Perhaps she would not have bled to death. So this is another needless death. Perhaps she could have been saved. But we have a country where the authorities and the medical professionals do not see eye to eye, and we can only pay the price in terms of this kind of tragedy. A young lady who was preparing for university admission, just 18 years, her future wiped out, her family unnecessarily punished because they live in a country called Nigeria.
As always, the case is Nigeria fails all of us. Every single day, every single time. You can look everywhere, Nigeria fails all of us. But it's not Nigeria that fails us, really. It is us that fail ourselves as a nation. It is the leadership that fails us. And it is us, the people too, that don't call a spade and speak truth to power, that fail ourselves. So the question is, how are we going to fix it? Because we can't continue this for too long to keep failing ourselves. And I put it to you, Kachi, the reason why a police officer shoots to kill is because he knows nothing will be done to him. Let's not deceive ourselves in this country. The only reason he can do it is because he knows he will go away with it. I've heard police officers said, we will kill you, we will say accidental discharge. And the shocking thing is, this is the only one that got reported. There are many people that have been shot by the day that never had data to post it on Facebook. So they will continue except something is done. And I thought that NSAS protests will say enough is enough. But these people, they don't seem to get the memo. It is shocking and it is sad. We see police officers kill people for no reason in this country. I'll never forget the case of the last Occupy Nigeria protest, 2012. A boy was playing football on the street. Demola police officers got there, they were passing their policeman. They shot him for nothing. So Nigerian police kill because they know that nothing will be done. How can we change that? Let's bolster the laws. Let us make it, a case of if you do something wrong, you too, you will have to die yourself. Because if you have more cases like that those that take life, their lives have been taken, then this will not continue. I don't believe it's because of salary, welfare, or anything. There are people that live in poorer climes and they do what is right. It's because you know there are no consequences to your action. And this is where the Police Service Commission should reign supreme. They should come up strong. They are a body set up to discipline police officers that heirs. They should come up strong here. Or else this will continue and they'll kill everybody in this country if care is not taken.
Okay, Kachi, we need to take a short break. We need to take a short break, Kachi. And then when we return, the program will continue. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Well, welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. Kachi Ofia is still here, catching the flow of the program. So we're coming straight back to you, Kachi Ofia.
Thank you, Dr. Abati. Let's keep it going. Another situation, incredibly sad, pertaining to gender-based violence now, where in Italy, a 61-year-old Italian man who goes by the name Pierangelo Pelizza has allegedly shot dead his 31-year-old Nigerian wife who goes by the name Amenze Rita. Now, it was reported that Rita filed for a divorce, which angered her embittered husband to carry out the heinous act of killing her. Now, this happened on Friday morning in Noventa Vicentina, and this was in front of her co-worker. She was actually shot 4 different times in front of MF Mushroom, a company where she worked. It was also learned that the late Amenze entered Italy through Libya in 2017 and then married an Italian in 2018. Now, following her death, so many questions have come up as to whether or not, he felt as though she just married him just so she could stay, considering the duration that, between when she came in and when she got married. Some others say it's possible they already met prior to when she came in. But again, this is one of numerous instances. Just in January, a Nigerian who goes by the name Moses Osage was arrested after he reportedly murdered his wife in Italy. In 2020, December specifically, Benjamin Okigbo, a US-based Nigerian doctor, strangled his wife, Theresa, to death before killing himself at their home in Texas. So there seems to be a similar thread in all of these cases, which pertain to these women either finding their independence or wanting to leave these relationships.
Well, thousands of women who are listening to you now, Kachi, are thinking there but for the grace of God, quite frankly. And I don't believe in casting aspersions on the victim. Let's not blame her in any way, because even if she's at fault, she is dead. There's no need to try and kill her all over again. What I do know for a fact is that 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women for obvious reasons. A man who's not happy in his marriage can quite comfortably carry on as if he's not married. Society does not frown on that. It's the women who tend to try and break it. And in the case of an abusive situation, the most dangerous time for that woman is not when she's living with her abuser. It is when she tries to leave him. That is when abusers actually will kill their wives. That how dare you try to leave me? I see Rita as a woman who migrated to Italy, went through all that hardship via Libya, looking for a better life for herself. And unfortunately, this is how her life has ended. For me, it is such a tragedy. And just because we don't know the facts, just because the marriage was short-lived, does not mean we should point the finger at her. It might have been short-lived because she saw some of these traits and she decided to flee from him. But what I would advise women who are who are married to, I don't want to call them men, abusive men, they're not, they're monsters, to just get away from them. I wish she had just come to Nigeria and just, escaped from him. There's some men you can tell dramatically, I'm leaving you, and there's some men you do not, you don't dare. You have to sneak out. Look at the fact that he shot her in front of witnesses, meaning he does not care.
4 times.
He feels that he owns her, and how dare she try to leave? Exactly, 4 times. So he wasn't trying to maim her. He wanted to murder her, because if he is not in her life, then her life must end. A lot of people are plagued by this sickness, this psychosis. And the women who live to tell the tale right now are listening to you and I now and shuddering when they remember that this could have been them. It could be anybody.
Well, the only thing to add to this is that Pirangelo Peliza, the murderer, has been arrested. And we expect that the Italian authorities will ensure that he faces the music and that he answers for his crime. Now, let us also commend the Nigerian authorities, the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, led by Abike Dabiri, had already contacted the Italian authorities, registered, the Nigerian concern, and asking that justice should be done. The Nigerian embassy in Italy is also, on top of the matter, and also the Nigerian Union of Nigerian Associations in Italy. So there's been a sense of outrage, insisting along the line that, look, the Italian authorities must do justice. Of course, it's very sad. Amenzi Rita was just 31, traveled all the way through Libya to Europe to go and find a new life, only to end in this manner so tragically. We cannot speculate about whatever must have led to her death in this gruesome manner, but whatever it is, it's an absolute act of criminality and inhumanity. And I don't know what pushes men to take a gun to kill their spouse or carry a knife or do whatever kind of damage. And we've had many similar cases also here in Nigeria. There are persons, who have been sentenced to death for killing their wives. But after committing the murder, you now see the same person carrying a holy book and claiming that it was the devil that pushed him to it. I think people must know that if you commit a crime, if you kill another human being, you will also...
You must lose the time.
Yes.
So for me, very sad one. The law should take its course. But for me, I'm particularly concerned about women going through what that lady went through now in that marriage. I think we should create a support system. The problem is we don't get enough support system. Society and everybody are quick to judge the woman, and they don't care what happens to the woman. So I think we should get a support system in place that when women decide to leave their marriage, there should be a safe landing for them. Because most of the time, this men use economic power against them. Most of the time, they might not have things doing and all of that. So I think we should work more on that support system, because it is that support system that will give the woman the impetus to leave when she's been threatened. Most of the time, the woman doesn't have the courage alone to leave. Because as Sunu said, when she's with a monster, what a monster does is he builds dungeons around. And once you're in that dungeon, to leave psychologically and physically, it's almost impossible. So when they ask the woman, why didn't you leave? It's not as easy as it is. But if we have a viable support system, then the woman can leave to somewhere. Because the question has always been, the woman will ask is, where am I leaving to? Or the next thing they will put the caveat is, oh, I'm staying for my children. But if they have a support system that they and their children can leave, and they do not hamper the future of their children, I think they can start having that emancipation. The question is, how much support systems do we have for women now in Nigeria as we speak that are being bullied? Because there are a lot of women watching us on TV now. You are watching and you are being bullied. You really want to leave that marriage. But the question is, where am I going to?
But in Europe,
we need to develop that.
In Europe, they have support systems, so it's not the absence of support system that has led to this, killing of Amenze Rita. But here, even in Lagos State, there are support systems. But the thing is, the circumstances in marriages differ, and the courage, the determination of the affected persons to, take one option or the other also depends on the circumstances in which they have found themselves. Anyway, Kachi, do we still have any other story?
Yes, we do. I believe we could briefly take that within the next 2-3 minutes, where a Beninese who goes by the name Adamu Sabisime has been arrested by the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Kwara for having carnal knowledge of his biological mother. Now, the command spokesman, Mr. Babawale Afolabi, said that Simi had been having an affair with his mother for a long time, and this relationship has resulted in 3 children. He also revealed that even the younger brother of the accused was confirmed to be sleeping with his mother and is now at large. So basically, this mother has been sleeping with her 2 sons, and, one of them has been able to impregnate her so she can have 3 different boys. And the question now is, who are the boys? It's just a mess. It's just, we don't have so much time to dwell on this, but it's mind-boggling.
When I first saw the story, the headline, mother births 3 children for her son, I thought, how sweet of her, how selfless. She carried the children, they must have had IVF. Right? I thought she did like IVF or something. I was like, or was like a surrogate or something. And then you read the story and you quickly close it. This is a sick bunch, sick.
Well, we don't have much time. Just to point out that incest is a crime under Nigerian laws. Section 3 and also Section 33 of the Matrimonial Causes Act. You are not allowed under the law to have sexual relations with a relation, and there are penalties for that. Now, this case was taken up by the civil defense. I don't know whether that falls within the jurisdiction of the civil defense. The civil defense has reported the matter to the Nigerian Immigration Service to check whether these persons, who are citizens of neighboring Republic of Benin, have the relevant papers to stay in Nigeria and commit this so-called evil, as it were. But I think the police should wade into it and make sure that this violation of public morality, which is injurious to public health, is dealt with according to the law. Thank you, Kachi. Thank you very much.